All right. So the first knot we're going to start with here is a very common knot. It's called the square knot. Its main purpose is to tie a rope, two ends of rope together under tension. And it's relatively easy. It's not the strongest knot, but it's used a lot. Like I use this to tie my bootlaces. You'll see this to tie thing loads down because you can keep it tight. So that's the square knot. To start with, we're going to need both ends of the rope. I'm going to take one end of the rope here, so this will be we'll call this then the running end, and in this one the running end, standing end's a little kind of confusing because we're using both, but we'll take the rope in my right hand. I'm going to cross it over the left, just like this. I'm going to bring it around that strand, the strand that was in my left. And now if you look, there's a bunch of different ways you've probably seen or heard to tie a square knot. But I think the easiest way for this to be explained, or I've ever had it explained to me, is if I look at this rope, let's put a little more through there. If I look at this rope, there's an end of rope that's on top as I'm holding it, and then there's an end that's underneath as I'm holding it. So in this case, it's the rope that's now in my left hand. And I'm going to take that rope and bring it over the top of the other strand and bring it around. And then dress it down. So I know I have a correct square knot is if I have what are called two interlocking bights, and you guys can see that here. The rope doesn't cross itself, so if I separate them out, I have two bights. And then the running and the standing ends exit on opposite ends of the knot, but they're on the same side of the knot. Now this knot does tend to creep under cyclic loading, so that's why it's really designed for under tension. Cyclic loading would be a on and off load, but we're always going to close this one out with a overhand safety on each side. So to do that, I'm going to take the tail, I'm going to come around the standing end or the other end of rope and create that overhand, dress it up nice and close, right? I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So anytime I do safety knots, you want them touching, but not distorting the knot, okay? So that's the square knot. Let's go through it one more time so you can see it again. Just gonna untie it here. Okay, so I'm gonna take my strands, measure off enough here, cross one over the other. I'm gonna look at it, and I'm gonna see the one on top, right here. I'm going to come over the top of the other strand again and around, dress it down. I'm going to look for those two interlocking bights, and then I'm going to do my overhand safety, making sure it all dresses down but is not distorting the knot. Boom. And there is a square knot. So again, purposes to join the ends of rope under tension.